What's good, gamers? Loadout941 here, back with another weapon review video. In this one, we're going to be going over the Parabellum SMG, but before we get too deep into the video, if y'all could click like, hit subscribe as well, that would be very, very cool. I put up 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at noon Eastern time. It's kind of been on the grind for a while now, and I'm hoping to end out the year strong, so thank you very much for your time. If the audio is a little off or the video is a little choppy, I apologize. My recording software recently exploded, so I've had to get used to a new setup. And then I'm also deaf in my left ear today, and have been for a week, so apologies. So, Parabellum SMG. First, let's establish what it is. It is a 900 RPM adaptive SMG in the energy slot that does solar damage. It is a world drop weapon. It is also farmable from doing higher difficulty lost sectors if that is the focused weapon. You might be able to get one from Banshee or Zur. I'm not entirely sure about their rotation though, so it's a world drop weapon. We all know how to get those. There are surprisingly not very many adaptive SMGs in the game that matter nowadays. I could really only find 2 that I see every now and then. Since that's not really enough for a comparison in my opinion, I grabbed one extra that is probably not available reliably anymore, nor does it really compete, but the 3 of them are the Hero's Burden, the Pizzicato 22, and the Bug Out Bag. Hero's Burden is an Iron Banner weapon, Pizzicato is another world drop weapon, but it's also in the manufacturer loot pool as a Suros weapon, and the Bug Out Bag is an old Game of Prime weapon that was part of Season of the Deep, and I'm pretty sure you need to get very lucky at Banshee or Zur in order to get one. And it's not craftable, so not really, not the greatest weapon there. Of the 3, Parabellum has the second highest range, stability, and a... Wow, of the 3? Of the 4, Parabellum has the second highest range, stability, and aim assist, is the second lowest handling, and the lowest recoil direction with the highest reload speed. None of its stats are too far off from the top to really be all that concerning. Literally 1 point of range between the Hero's Burden and Parabellum. The largest concern is probably the recoil direction and the stability though. It kicks a little weird, so I run this with a counterbalance stock mod, and it's much more manageable when that's active. Maybe Arrowhead Break is the play, but I haven't got one with Arrowhead that I want to use yet, so can't speak to it. Before we move too far off of stats, you might notice that lightweights also have a listed 900 RPM, but there's a damage difference between them, so that's why I didn't compare a lightweight here. You probably could, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, that's just why I didn't. The Parabellum is a very basic SMG with a very good set of workhorse stats, but with a very limited perk selection for PvP. I'm going to go through them very quickly since there are not many options that matter. Column 3, you've got Heal Clip, Shoot to Loot, Stats for All, Enlightened Action, Permeability, and Rewind Rounds. Literally only 1 perk matters here if you're a normal person, and it's Heal Clip. Stats requires too many things shooting at you, Enlightened doesn't matter enough in the neutral, and the rest are 100% PvE perks. I am not sweating my ass off for the 5 extra range from Enhanced Shoot to Loot instead of the benefits of Heal Clip. It's Heal Clip or bust. In column 4, it's got Attrition Orbs, Deconstruct, Frenzy, Adagio, Under Over, and Dynamic Sway Reduction. This column has more to talk about and a few more options to work with. Attrition Orbs is not one of them, Frenzy exists, and Adagio, Under Over, and Dynamic Sway Reduction are all acceptable options to choose from. Deconstruct, I don't think does anything, since this isn't a special weapon, and they nerfed the shit out of it, rightfully so. So, I don't know, man. Who cares? Don't bother with Deconstruct. The last 3, though, are the ones that are acceptable. Adagio shifts you from an adaptive to a precision frame in the middle of combat. It's a little weird to get used to, but it's not the worst thing in the world, and extra range is really nice. Under Over is for fighting overshields and woven mail only. Any other time it's not going to matter. And then Dynamic Sway Reduction is for consistent dueling. If you're familiar with my opinions on weapons, you know that I prefer Dynamic Sway Reduction, just because I like when a weapon is always as good as it's going to be when I need it to, with as little warm-up as possible. It's fantastic for dueling, staying on target, love that perk. The Origin trait is pretty nifty and pairs well with Heal Clip Sustain as well. Field Tested just gives you bonus all stats as you kill and deal damage. Usually you'll get to like 2 stacks after your second or third kill. Extra range, stability, handling, and reload speed for just playing exactly how you'd play normally. It's very cool, love that immensely, reward playing the video game. awesome. Now, since this is an SMG, you want to pair it with a longer range weapon. I finally got myself an Aisha's Care with Keep Away and Kill Clip to try out, and it fell into place perfectly. It does strand damage, so it fills up the darkness bar for Transcendence much faster than a kinetic option would. It's very, very nice. Other options I could have looked at were the Prophet, Stay Frosty, Round Robin, Psy Hermetic. You've got a couple of options if you want a darkness-specific weapon. I recently got a good Relentless, well, not a good one, an okay Relentless, and I gave that a shot near the end. I don't think it's going to show up in any of the clips because I don't think I got anything good from its use, but that's an option as well. It's a high impact, very, very good. You can always do some kind of sniper rifle if you're into that. I like my double primary, as you're all aware, so not something that I would do, but always an option. So this is not as much of a face-melting monster as the Multimach is, despite having the exact same RPM. You really need to hit your crits more than the other guns like this. But if you give it the room to breathe and know its limits, it'll kick some serious ass, but you really need to lean into its strengths. The Parabellum is a weapon that requires a little more effort on your part than the standard SMG would. Other close-range options either kill in one hit or kill faster. Longer-range primary options have the same optimal time to kill, but can fight from safer positions. You really, really need to know your engagement options and have very good target priority and acquisition to get as much as possible from this gun. But once you get into the groove, you'll have an extremely reliable weapon willing to follow you into the gun zone and frag out. It's not the best gun in the game by any metric, but it holds its own. It's constant, it's competent, and it's reliable above all else. I love this weapon. I think it's very, very useful in a lot of situations that I find myself in, but it is something that I needed to get used to. The weird zoom, the weird sight, the weird recoil all kind of put me off a little bit, but once I got like 3 or 4 games deep and I had my dynamic sway heel clip roll, it was a lot easier to know that I could take this fight or not take that fight or choose my... I learned how to choose my engagements a lot more as a result of using this weapon. It made me a better player, I guess is a way to say it, but I don't even know if that's true. What? Can I finish talking? Okay. But it was very rewarding once I got there, so I think it's worth putting the effort into getting a good one. You're very limited on good perk combinations, so it might take you a couple of tries to get one that you want, and that's unfortunate. But once you have one and you give it the time and space to breathe, it'll do what it needs to do, and it'll keep you alive in some pretty rough situations. So, but with that, that's going to be it for me today. What do you guys think of this weapon? Do you like the Parabellum? Do you hate the Parabellum? Is it a weapon that you despise or want to use more or whatever? Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful day.
More. You burn bright. For how long? Hunt them down. Your power wanes. Sound tactics so far. Just the start. You cut their momentum. Keep pushing. Their fury dims. Their fury dims. Promising. Target down, but stay alert.